What's going on, everybody? This is James Grandmaster Facts Boys, and you are here for a Facts Project review. Now, recently, I've gotten my hands on New Gods as of like last couple weeks, and I've had a chance to glance this over now. A little bit of history. One of the first couple comics that I got to read coming up was my fascination with the cosmic universe, better yet, from Marvel and from DC. So the initial trade that went down between Highfather and Darkseid. Better yet, the trade that basically was the switcheroo, if you want to call it, between Orion and Mister Miracle himself. I was pretty much trapped into that little bit segment of those books for a very, very long time. But yet, this brand new chapter of New Gods with Ram V, Evan Cagle, Jorge Fornes on colors, and Francesco Segala doing letters has been released. And I got to tell you, first and foremost, Evan Cagle should be doing any and everything as far as his penciling is going. His art throughout every single page, the interiors, the outer variants that basically he has done are phenomenal, especially with the archetype of doing something on a cosmic level. It's what I pretty much picture what a cosmic level book should look like. Um, but more so it depicts this. You start to see the initialization of something that they've called a decimation in the universe. And it's a portion of the balance between Highfather and Darkseid, but yet Darkseid is no longer there. It's like Darkseid is now dead. So Highfather is a little bit conflicted and is unsure of himself as to what to do. But Metron, who of course sits upon his Morbius chair, is of course a man of all prophecies. And it's funny because in the first couple pages of the book, he calls Highfather Isaiah rather than calling him Highfather. It's like somebody calling you by your government name rather than calling you by the title that you were given. And yet, because the balance has shifted, they understand, or better yet, Highfather understands that there is, with the death of Darkseid, a new God will be born. And essentially, Highfather's depiction of that is that it's a little bit sour. Is it going to become as they call it, a harbinger of death that is going to be dropped upon his doorstep? Now that Darkseid is no longer there, it's pretty much to the point to where I have to eliminate the problem before it becomes a problem. So then you come to see, all beknownst to him, he calls for his champion. Light Ray comes out of nowhere and be like, I'm here. I'm here. What do you need me for? And he's like, yeah, not you this time. Seek Orion for me. Now, for those of anybody that knows the history of Orion, Orion, for the most part, because of the trade, because of the switch, is Darkseid's son. And Mister Miracle is Highfather's son. And they were, of course, switched in the New Genesis Apocalypse Wars. And because Mr. Miracle is a master of escape, he found his way out of Apocalypse, which, of course, the trade was pretty much to bring peace to the universe. There was be no conflict between New Genesis and Apocalypse. And because Mr. Miracle is who he is and what happens there, it reignites that war. But yet I've always looked at the characters of Orion and Mr. Miracle, Scott Free, as brothers. Uh, Brothers within the same type of sorrowing warmongering that has gone on in the universe for years. But when I tell you like the introduction of Orion in this book, he's a he's a champion of New Genesis. So he he fixes problems. And he just goes from planet to planet, understanding that your leader is now dead. Anybody who basically sought allegiance to Darkseid has to meet me, and you will see my hand. Of course, He despises his father. I'm sure that anybody that would be a relative of Darkseid would feel that sort of way. But yet he's called upon by Highfather himself, even though Metron has basically let Highfather know that, watch what you do and do it carefully. Um, because notably, this doesn't bode well for you. If a new god has been born out there to sort you out and wipe you off the map, it might be wise for you to understand what's coming. So, of course, that's why he needs his champion. And in the middle of all this, Orion seeks the advice of Scott. Scott is now a brand new father. Scott Free and Big Barda now live on Earth. Him and his little self and Big Barda hanging over the side of a couch with her 8-foot self. And they've moved away from all the conflict that they've had. But with Orion's presence, they see that more than possibly it's going to bring a lot more conflict than what they need, because it's almost, I've always looked at their relationship between Orion and Mr. Miracle, as I said before, as being brothers. And I feel as though Orion doesn't necessarily see the need to go into conflict without him. Now, in the beginning of reading this book, I thought that the new god that was being born was going to be Scott and Barda's child, which I prayed wouldn't be the case. But of course, the cliffhanger at the end of this book comes to find out that a child born in a desolate jungle in the middle of Earth turns out to be the new god itself. And that's where it kind of like leaves you within issue one. But the way that Evan Cagle has brought this book to life, and Ram V, the writer of this storyline, who I feel like is on a tear with the many deaths of Layla Starr, with Dawn Runner. Dawn Runner, he actually did with Evan Cagle. Ram V is now like literally on the top of my list as far as like writers that I'm anticipating their work for 2025. Ram is going to be a solid force to be reckoned with as far as somebody that is constructed. He's actually doing, I think, Resurrection Man for DC coming in for Black Label very soon. That's going to be coming out. But issue 2 for New Gods is going to be dropping on January 15th. So please look out for that. But this is a Facts Project review. New Gods #1 for DC. Please check back with us. Check back with the channel. I will see you guys next time.